Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. I have been solving math problems for GMAT out of this book here, the GMAT review, the official guide. If you do not have this book, buy one immediately at mba.com. The problem that I'm about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 168, 124. It's an algebraic problem. It says, according to a car dealer's sales report, 1/3 of the cars sold during a certain period were sedan, and 1/5 of the other cars sold were station wagons. If n station wagons were sold during that period, how many sedans in terms of n were sold? As you can see, it is quite amusing. It's an algebraic problem, obviously. And therefore, there are two ways of solving this problem. There are two ways of solving any algebraic problem on the GMAT. One is what I call the conventional way, the traditional way, the orthodox way, the geeky way, the nerdy way, the proper way, the academic way, the way your math teacher would expect you to solve it. And the other one is what I call the quick and dirty way, where I just make up numbers. I read the problem and I make up numbers for the variables. I just plug in numbers, I solve the problem based on those numbers. In other words, I take the algebraic problem, convert it into a simple arithmetic problem. I get my answer based on the numbers that I plugged in, and I see which one matches with my answer. That's what it is. Let's do it together. It says, according to the car dealer sales report, 1/3 of the cars sold were sedan. So, here is the car sold, and here is the sedan. And since he's telling me that 1/3 of them were sedan, I'm going to plug in something that goes nicely into 3. So therefore, 100 were sedan. There you go. Where did I come up with 300 and 100? I just plugged in a value. I just plugged in 300 for the amount of cars sold, for the number of cars sold. I just said amount. If my teachers heard from back home, I would be in trouble. I'm not going to digress between the use right now to tell you the differences between amount and number. One uses the word amount when one is talking about something that is not countable. If it's countable, the proper English is to say number, not amount. Anyway, I digress big time. So I plugged in 300 here, therefore sedan must have been 100. Then it goes on to say that 1/5 of the other car were station wagon. 1/5 of other cars were station wagons. Well, 1/5 of the other cars here, since there are 300 altogether, 100 of them are sedan, must be 200. And 1/5 of those must be wagon, which means there were 40 wagons. I just got lucky here. I just got lucky in the sense that I plugged in 300 here because 1/3 of them were sedan, so I plugged in something that goes into 3, but it also turns out that the remaining amount, 200, also goes nicely into 5. If it turns out that here I end up with something that does not go into 5, I will go back and rearrange my numbers. You can plug in any number that you want that works nicely. Which number you plug in, that comes through practice. There is no hard and fast rule that you can just learn. It comes through practice. But here I got lucky. So anyway, there were 40. Since there are 300 cars altogether, 1/3 of them were sedan, and we are told 1/5 of the other car are 200, and 1/5 of those were wagons. 1/5 of 200 is 40. If n station wagons were sold, well, okay, so he's calling this n. N equals 40. How many sedans in terms of n were sold? How many sedans? Well, there you go. That's what I call the punchline. The punchline here is how many sedans, right here. So I'm going to go through my answer choices. Wherever I see n, I'm going to put in 40 until I find something that gives me 100. Let's get going. 2/15 times 40, that's not going to give me 100 because 2 times 40 is 80. 80 divided by 15 is not going to give me 100. B says 3/5 times 40. That's not going to be 100. That's 120 over 5. That's not 100. In order for it to be 100, top would have to be 500. 3 times 40 is not 500 because 500, the only way I'm going to get 100 as the answer is because 500 divided by 5 is 100. The top is not 500. Similarly here, in order for this to work, the top would have to be 1500 because 1500 divided by 15 is going to be 100. It's not going to work. Let's go on. C says 3/5 times 40. As you can see, that does not work. C does not work because in order for this to work, in order for the C to be right answer, again the top, the numerator would have to be 500 because 500 over 5 is going to equal to 100. That's not 500. 3 times 40 is not 500. What 3 times 40 is, I'm not interested in that. Let's keep on going. D says 5 halves times n, which is 40. Let's see what that gives me. Notice I'm changing color. Something must be going on here. 2 goes into 40 20 times, and 20 times 5 is, voila, 100, right there. What does E say? What does E work out to be? 15 over 2 times n. Well, if 5 over 2 times 40 we just found is 100, then 15 over 2 is not going to be 100. 15 over 2 is going to be 3 times as much. It's going to give us 300. That's not it. Answer is D. That's all. That's all. We are done. It's a very simple technique. You plug in numbers. The only condition here is that this plugging in technique allows you to convert an algebraic problem into an arithmetic problem. But the only condition here is that, which is the condition, of course, to any problem that you do, or for that matter, anything that you do in life, which is you have to concentrate. If you muck up the arithmetic, then there is no hope. Because that's all is required here. In this technique, the only tools that are required are addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. If you muck up the arithmetic, then you're doomed. There is no substitution. There is no substitute for concentration. You have to have concentration. As long as you concentrate, the arithmetic is very simple. You see? I hope you found this helpful. If you wish to purchase my DVDs, in which I show you the solutions to all the problems in this book, there are 400 of them, about 250 problem solving, 150 data sufficiency. If you wish to purchase the DVDs, or if you wish to hire me for personal private tutoring, go to my website at www.prep.gmat.com. Send me an email and we'll talk. Alright? Thanks.